We are on the lunch break in the questioning of Roger Pearce at the undercover policing inquiry. After we came back. There we go. Hopefully that's improved. There may have been sound problems just then. Perhaps I'll just quickly recap. Roger Pearce. It was put to him at the start of the last little bit of a session. I'm talking about Liv from Nervo.
Liv,
back again.
Liv Nevo.
Yeah. Who was watching from the public gallery. Roger Pearce was presented with his own statements, his written statements to the inquiry, his interview with Operation Hearn, and an interview he did on Radio 4 in 2013, where he said that there were times when sexual relationships by undercover officers would be authorised.
Yes, for their safety.
Yeah. But also for the continuation of getting intelligence, which seemed to be quite different from the other things that he was saying.
Yeah.
Very different, really, from what you said this morning, where he was, in no uncertain terms. He gave examples of where it would be authorised. Said none of the officers that he was managing would have met the threshold of what was required to authorise a sexual relationship. But he said that there were other cases that would, and he gave a contemporary example. And he described essentially one of the Palestine actions into a factory where they used sledgehammers to destroy equipment that was being used as part of the genocide in Palestine. And he said in a situation like that, it would be justified for an undercover officer to have a sexual relationship. I don't know, but for me, this felt a very coded way of saying that sexual relationships continue and they are being used against protesters in the current time. We've seen the classification of what was traditionally just considered direct action as terrorism under British law in recent years with the prescribing of Palestine action. I think it was quite a chilling statement he made there. Really disturbing.
I just think it was the welfare of the women and children. There was no mention of any children, at all. I think I saw one statement where he asked, I wonder if these officers have contributed to the children's upbringing. But the welfare of the women was just like the last on the pecking order.
Yeah.
There was a lot of noise about why it would be justified. But again, the victims were lost.
Yeah, completely. He talked again and again about the impact on the officers themselves.
Not even sorry, but the sad sausages. All these really sad officers that we're meant to feel really sorry for.
Yeah, and he said obviously the impact on their wives and the impact on the unit and the operational security, and of course the women who were deceived.
Yeah. And then no mention of the children. That followed.
No, none. Yeah. We then got onto the investigations into James Thompson, his serious criminality on 5 different areas. The setting up of another fictitious identity, stealing the identity of your dead child, Kevin Crossland, having multiple credit cards, passports, driving licenses, all sorts of documents in this other false name. His criminality, his misallocation of police funds, him using his cover employment. So many things with the unauthorized travel when he was told he couldn't go places. Really just like extreme example. It was pointed out that you couldn't imagine a worse set of crimes being committed by an undercover officer. Yet it was decided not to punish him in any way.
Yes.
Because that would affect the operational security of the SDS.
I know. There were so many words, but nothing that made sense.
Yeah, he did talk at length, didn't he?
And he was very charming. He was a much, more well-maintained witness than yesterday.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's still got some people in the public gallery making some noise at the back. I thought they were going to be told off at one point. There were a few huffs and puffs.
I mean, it's interesting when Mitting sometimes does tell the public gallery off. You get the impression he doesn't when he feels the same.
Yeah. Well, no one was told off today.
No one was told off today. No, I think that the difference between the two witnesses is that whilst Roger Pearce was an undercover officer himself for 4 years in the early 80s, Colin Black wasn't. So we're seeing someone who's used to being a manipulator, who's used to lying. I mean, obviously he's done a lot of TV as well.
Yes.
You know, and it comes across.
Yeah. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, he's kept a straight face throughout.
Yeah, he has. He's quite almost like charming in a way.
Yeah.
You sort of feel like you want to really believe him and absorb his narrative, but no.
Yeah, I mean, it is all lies.
It is.
I mean, he talked about the need that it was been impossible to punish James Thompson without it bringing into
national security
problems. Yeah, and also about the fragility of James Thompson himself.
Yeah.
There was a fear that he would self-harm if he was in any way punished for, crimes that would get, I mean, there's firearms offences. There's very serious stuff that James Thompson was up to. If a member of the public did these things, you're looking at a long time in prison. There's no two ways about it.
They get easy access. So, hey, everyone, become a policeman. And
you can get away with whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, that seems to be the message. And it was asked, what more could he have done that would have caused him to be punished? And there was
killed someone, maybe.
I mean, he said, well, there's very little more serious that could have happened. But it was more important over anything else, more important than justice, more important than the law, more important than morality, was the endurance of the SDS.
Yes, and the focus was on keeping their mental health sound.
Yes.
So it wouldn't then affect the team.
Right.
Their mental health.
Yes.
Again, always about their.
Yep. And he talked about the excellent intelligence that James Thompson was providing. I mean, we know that James Thompson he had a massive failure at providing. It was like 2 years where he was filing hardly any reports. Yeah. This was by any measure like a terrible undercover officer by their own terms. I mean, but his abuse of women was, which we've heard, really moving testimony from Sarah and Ellie about the sexual deception of Ellie, which continued for nearly 20 years after his deployment, as well as the deception of Wendy, who was a friend. He deceived into a friendship, which was only able to continue because he wasn't punished.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I liken it to psychological rape, if that is even a term, but the effects are huge with this sort of thing. Yeah.
I mean, Roger Pearce said he hadn't considered that. He also maintains that he had no knowledge of any of the sexual relationships. Ridiculous given the paperwork we've seen.
I mean, how can you just get away with saying that? What's the point of having these witnesses if they're just going to lie or have memory lapses when it's convenient? Oh, gosh, it's all such a sorry state of affairs.
So I did cut across you then. What were you going to say?
I can't remember. Oh, what did that Charlotte lady, what did she describe? The dark
playground.
The dark playground. And I think what the Spy Cops inquiry is doing is it's really shining the light on this sort of dark playground that exists and the excuses that we give people to be able to play in this dark playground. And who are the people who suffer from this? It's always the women and the children.
Allowing the men to do undercover what men are doing anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, there is this thing that, it is literally giving men a license to behave in like the worst possible ways, which we see generally in the patriarchal society in which we live. But it's been supercharged essentially by the deployment. It's giving a license, a green light for the most appalling forms of behavior.
So what the Spy Cops survivors are doing is so brilliant for the rest of society because the light's on them.
Yeah.
We're all seeing it.
Yeah.
We're seeing the witness statement, the witnesses carry on, double down, wrong and strong. And it's really shining the light on this dark playground, which I think we've got to get to the bottom of for society. We have to legislate against it. because we need a deterrent.
Yes. Yeah.
So
And you were in Parliament yesterday with.
We had a wonderful meeting with some MPs, and who are all super committed to working. To legislating against sexual coercion and reproductive coercion. And we learned some really interesting things, didn't we? I don't know. Can I share it here? Do you think about the...
Maybe not. But we're
okay.
We're going to be doing a roundtable.
We're going to be doing a roundtable with Jess Phillips and a whole bunch of other MPs. What's very interesting is whenever a new law is passed, there's always a financial consequence to that law that is carried through for the next year. So, for example, if you introduce a law, I don't know, let's call it coercive and control, there you go, and so then you criminalise it. That means the following year, the party that criminalised it, or the party is in power, needs to pay in their budget for what that cost. So say it was 22 million. That means the next year they have to allocate 22 million of their budget to that law, to keeping it going, and it's for prison places. So what's really interesting is we learned a bit more about the maths and the mechanics behind laws. So I think that's given us a whole new area to think about of how you can legislate without it becoming such a huge, I don't know, financial strain for the parties. You want to incentivize them to legislate so we get to safety. And, you know, the financial part is something you need to think about. So that was really interesting. I'd never heard that. It's interesting information.
I mean, I've got to be honest. I'm an anarchist. Get me out of here. I'm already well out of the, it's not my world.
Not my world either.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I just found that. Yeah, so there are all sorts of ways that you can amend a law or legislate, and that is you can amend an already existing law. So we're going to have a roundtable and discuss that, how we can get a proper law for people who have suffered from sexual coercion and reproductive coercion.
Right.
Watch this space. Yeah,
fair play. Look out for that. We got to after we'd gone through all this detail about how it was very important that James Thompson wasn't punished because it would reveal the existence of the SDS. It was pointed out that within a few months, the SDS was cooperating with the television documentary team in order to produce the True Spies documentary series, 3 one-hour programs that looked in detail at the way in which undercover officers operate in the UK, which really, I think, just underlined the nonsense.
It is nonsense.
Yeah. We've had some comments.
Oh, hi, people.
Just one from Anwin. Angry emoji was the disturbing witness, not you. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, absolutely.
Sad
oh
sausages.
My God, yeah. The idea that
all the police, they're all just sad sausages. Yeah. And the victims are crazy activists.
Yeah.
Even that, how they reference the women as the activists. I don't know. I didn't like that.
No.
They're not activists. It doesn't matter what they do.
No, sure.
They are women, victim survivors.
Sure.
I don't know. I just...
I think it's really important. I think for particularly a lot of the women have voiced this view that that they not be stripped of their political agency. That they weren't just women who happened to be there. They were political activists who were targeted. Yeah,
but there were also other victims that were not political
plenty.
activists that were
absolutely.
Targeted by undercover cops.
Yeah.
So it just goes back to that. That's just an excuse. And also, what I don't like about calling them activists is it makes them sound somewhat, I don't know, controversial.
Right. Okay.
Whereas they're not. They're just like, what's controversial is what has happened to them.
Yes, absolutely.
But anyway, that's just my opinion.
No, fair enough.
What else have people
Another
said?
comment saying apparently the punishment for Thompson was to be given the job of bodyguarding Tony Blair. Absolutely. After he had been an undercover police officer, he became a close protection officer, which is another part of Special Branch. And there are photographs of him as part of a close protection team guarding Tony Blair as he comes out of, I think it was the photo that was quite famous was him coming out of a conference in Dublin. Clearly, James Thompson is an armed, he's got a firearm. All his misdemeanors whilst he was undercover meant for nothing.
What was that? Don't forget there were sexual relationships in his terrible novels.
Indeed, yeah, these awful spy novels which Roger Pearce wrote. I mean, includes the undercover officers having sexual relationships with activists, having children with them.
And it's true. SDS, women and children last. It's true.
Yeah. absolutely. Yeah.
It's just the pecking order.
Yeah.
The women and children are at the bottom of the barrel. It's just depressing.
And here's Jack Shepherd put in, one of the novels includes a plot line involving an undercover officer who fathers a child through a deceptive relationship with an activist. This closely mirrors the real-life revelations about HN10 Bob Lambert, which has become public shortly before the novel was published. During his evidence, Pearce, during his evidence last time when he was called in during tranche 2, Pearce denied that the storyline was based on any real undercover officer or that he had been aware of officers fathering children while undercover. Barr noted the novels contain references to, I don't think we can get the rest of that up because of the nature of it. But yeah, I mean, a clear sign that he had a full knowledge of the reality of what the undercover police were doing.
I wonder, is there anyone out there who knows of any children victims born through this sort of reproductive coercion? It doesn't have to be spy cops. Are there any adult victims that are willing to come forward and make a statement about the harm caused to their lives, the identity harm? I think one of the undercover policemen gave a fake name, so his child ended up having a fake surname for most of their life, or still does. I don't know. You know, there's so much harm.
There is TBS, which is the cipher used for the son of Jackie and Bob Lambert, who is a core participant at the inquiry. He has made a statement. He was raised by Jackie after Bob Lambert disappeared when he was only a couple of years old. I mean, his life story is shocking in that aspect, and I mean his statement is on the public inquiry website. Worth checking out.
I just love to hear from grown victims of this sort of abuse, just to sort of point out how generational it is.
Yeah, it doesn't go away, right?
It doesn't go away.
You know, it's part of people's lives.
It shapes them and their entire families.
Absolutely. Roger Pearce will be back this afternoon. The hearing will start a little bit later. There is a private session after lunch is over. So don't expect the broadcast to start until about 2:30. Generally as well, that's what the inquiry says. They often run later than they expect. Is there anything you'd like to add? I'd
just like to add, thank you, everybody who's following this story. It's so important. The knock-on effect is so huge, and the outcome. And for anyone who can get down here and show some love, show some support, these incredible people, all of you behind it, you're just doing such an amazing job, and it's just humbling to even know you personally. So well done, everyone, for fighting the good fight.
Thank you so much for saying that. Cheers. Cheers.
Really mean
it. Thanks to everybody who's liked and shared. It makes a big difference how visible any of these videos are. There is no mainstream media at any of these hearings.
No mainstream media.
No. In fact, there's no independent media either. There's just us, and there's no justice. So but so if you are able to support in any way, and by sharing it, by using the hashtag SpyCops to talk about what's happening as it's happening or afterwards or whatever, all the videos are there if you want to go back and check anything out that we've talked about and just see what actually was said. It's all available. And all of these activists have normal lives with normal jobs that they need to do to pay normal bills and house bills. So it's really amazing to see you be so dedicated to justice. Thanks. There is if everybody wants to buy me a coffee to support this work, you find the link in my bio. You're more than welcome to do that. As someone said, no justice, just us. Quite literally. That's oh my goodness. Okay, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again this afternoon. Bye for now.